Right, the other day I showed my part-off tool holder at the back here with the Banggood GTN3 part-off blade. This is a piece of 2-inch mild steel, and I've been parting off billets like this here, and this is just an update to show you how well this tool does. And on this I'm using the back gear, and the RPM is about 147. So you can see that GTN3 insert part-off tool handled that perfectly, the large diameter mild steel, and so far I've actually cut off 6 of those billets, so you can actually see what a great tool this is. And on that part-off I was using my cutting oil system, the pump action one that I showed the other day, and I've done several upgrades to the Myford over the last few days, only small things but very good. On the pump action cutting oil system I've got some new tubing, and I've plumbed it in so it goes down through the drain hole on the actual Myford tray, goes right under the bench, and then comes up through a hole at the back to actually supply the oil, and that keeps the pipe out of the way and stops it getting tangled in swarf or whatever. Also, I found a shallow aluminium tray which I use to catch the oil, and then I filter it and recycle it. Also on the Myford I use this low-cost lead screw hand wheel to actually advance the carriage when milling, and I've made this brass pointer up here. There was a 2BA threaded hole in the back of the lathe here under the ways, which I presume was for a pointer, but I've made this pointer up out of an earth pin from a 3-pin plug. It's virtually already made. All you have to do is take out the screw, drill out to accept the 2BA screw, put a nut on the back so you can get it to whatever length you want it, is to cut off and point it up, and that makes a nice little pointer. Now if you buy the original Myford lead screw hand wheels, they're much better engraved, but like I say, this one's very low cost compared with those. If you want to make the increment stand out nicely, what I did was cleaned it up, filled it with red paint, and then just went round with some wire wool when it was dry. And if you buy one of these, make sure you get either a metric or imperial, whatever lead screw you have on the lathe. The imperial one has 120 digits and the metric one has 160. Now on the Chinese mini lathe, I've just designed and made this simple ball turning attachment. The Myford ball turner is this one here. It's a good solid tool. It doesn't have any roller bearings, yet it runs lovely and smooth. Just bolts onto the cross slide. And I've incorporated some of the ideas from this one into this tool, and I hope to show this in an upcoming video. This is a 30mm diameter brass ball which I turned this afternoon. It will turn up to 40mm. And because this tool doesn't have any roller bearings, it's very simple and easy to make, and you only need a few pieces of mild steel and a bit of aluminium to make it. And I've made this one with a twin handle which gives you super control over the tool. You can operate it really nice and smooth with both hands and get a lovely finish. So before I can show you this one in detail and how I made it, I've just got to wait for a few more materials to arrive. And before I go, I'd just like to show you a lovely new knife sharpening tool that I bought. Well, they call it a 5-way diamond sharpener, and I bought this one from Banggood, particularly for sharpening axes because of the nice hold of the tool and the large surface area of the diamonds. This side here is 400 grit. They are stainless steel coated in diamonds. This side they don't specify what the grit is, but it's a lot smoother, so I presume it's for finishing off. In the handle there's a ceramic rod, and you can actually sharpen scissors through that one. It has a carbide V for doing the knives, and it also has another ceramic V there for finishing off the knives. It came in this packaging here with all the different functions on the back and the specifications, and one of the things I like about this tool as well is that you don't have to use any water or oil to actually use it. So it has excellent hold, and I can get a nice flat bevel on the axe. I'm using the 400 grit first. And one thing I like about this diamond sharpener is that it doesn't clog up like the older type do. I've been used to using these ones here. You have to use either water or paraffin or something with it, but they still tend to clog up. But this one doesn't seem to do that at all. You can actually hear it cutting or sharpening that axe really nice. Incidentally, this is one of my best axes. It was made in England. It's a vintage axe, and it was made by a company called Braids, if you ever have the chance to get any of their tools, they're always excellent quality. So to finish off, I'm using the fine side, and that just hones it up nicely and takes out the scratches. And that one's razor sharp. And when I finish sharpening, I use my buffing wheel just to polish the edges up here, always holding the axe down. And that gives a lovely mirror finish again. So that's the axe, nicely finished, polished up and ready to use again. And I reckon these diamond sharpeners are actually brilliant.